Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 29th of February. Just as I was beginning, the lights went out. Shouldn't be load shedding, so I'm not sure what's going on, but we've got no lights. And I thought, well, we've still got sound, and that's what really matters, so we'll continue nonetheless. And it's also quite a late afternoon mull in actual fact, because I took my mother to the funeral of a friend this morning. This woman was a resident of Irene Homes, an Anglican home for women with intellectual disabilities, a place where she'd lived virtually her entire life. A bit of a tragic story, because at the age of 3, her mother had died, and her stepmother, when her father remarried again, thought she'd keep her brother at home, but she didn't want the girl, so she packed her off to a convent, and she basically stayed at the convent through her entire childhood and all her school life. And when she reached the end of high school and got to the age of 18, she no longer fitted in at the convent, and they had to send her off somewhere else. And so they sent her to Irene Homes, and where she finally found a place to fit in. And clearly, from what the other residents were saying, she was much loved by everybody and had a place where she belonged as a resident of the home. But during the funeral service, they read John chapter 14, where Jesus says to the disciples, "I'm going to prepare a place for you." And then he says in verse 3, "And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am." And as I read that, I thought, what a wonderful contrast. Here was a woman whose family hadn't wanted her, so they'd sent her off to the convent school. When she got too old, the convent school, understandably, couldn't accommodate her, so they'd sent her off somewhere else. And her existence had been sending off to places. And just the concept of Jesus saying, "I'm going to come for you. I'm going to fetch you and bring you to be with me." What a contrast for her life. And I'm quite sure that with her Sunday school faith, she was with Jesus. She'd always gone to the chapel, she'd read the Bible, she'd sung in the choir. She probably hadn't read Barth or any of the other theologians, but that's not how you get into heaven. It's because of the love of Jesus. And just this concept of Jesus coming to fetch her and saying, "I want you to be with me where I am," and taking her. What a wonderful picture of our faith. And so be encouraged that we're all wanted by Jesus. We might not fit in here. We might have a tenuous hold here. We might actually be entirely happy here, but we're going to be so much happier when we step into glory. So be encouraged that we have a faith in a Savior who loves us and calls us and keeps us. Be encouraged and know that we're blessed.